Well, hello everybody, and welcome to Barnstormers Travel. I'm Keith, and this is the first day of our adventures on the Caribbean Princess, where we left Fredericksburg, headed to Austin Airport, and we arrived there a couple days after the end of the mask mandate, so thought we'd take a picture inside the airport and let you see how things looked from our perspective. Well, our flight was a little delayed getting out of Austin, but once we got on airborne, everything went real well. Landed at San Francisco International, and as I was turning my phone back on, I got a message from our transfer company. They were all set, ready for us to get picked up and everything, so we were communicating right away. Went down and got our bags, went outside, told the driver where we'd be. And while we were waiting for her to pick us up, a Chinese lady came up to us, and her broken English and my absolute zero Chinese, we were trying to figure out where it was that her transfer operator would pick up using her app, which was in Chinese. So long story short, fortunately our driver is fairly new from China, speaks very good English, and of course she speaks Chinese, and she was able to communicate with the lady, and we actually ended up taking her with us as we drove to our hotel on Fishermans Wharf, and worked out really nice. We had a chance to chit-chat a little bit, of course using our driver as a translator. And it was all in all, it was a pleasant trip. About a 30-minute drive from the airport to our hotel, the RIU hotel there on Fisherman's Wharf. More about that a little bit later. Well, we arrived at our hotel about 30 minutes before we were supposed to meet a group of folks that we had gotten in contact with on cruisecritic.com, and we hurried up and got checked in, headed up to the room, got things put away, kind of cleaned up a little bit, and the plan for the evening was to go down and meet them and go out to dinner at a place called Fog Harbor, which is located on Pier 39, easy walking distance from the RIU hotel that we were staying at. We met the folks, and several of them actually ended up being pretty close buddies for the rest of the trip, which is nice. Cruise Critic is a really good resource for folks, especially if you're new to cruising and you don't you have questions, you don't know where to go, what to do, those kind of things, and it's a great way to meet people. So we walked from the hotel. It was still plenty of light outside. Ended up going out to the wharf. It's kind of a little bit of a circus atmosphere. Reminded me a little bit of when I was growing up in the early 70s, and still had a few of the hippies hanging around. Had some kids playing some music, and of course they had the hat out there, so I had to throw a buck in the hat for them. Made it really easy to Fog Harbor. The only hard part was on the way there's a lot of street vendors that were cooking sausages with peppers and onions, and I'll tell you what, they smelled so good. Well, Fog Harbor turned out to be a really good choice, and a friend of mine, Jay, here in Fredericksburg, who's been out to San Francisco a few times as a surgeon, told me that while I was there, I needed to stop in and get a sourdough bowl with clam chowder in it. So I decided to go with that for the choice there at Fog Harbor, and oh my goodness, that was a great choice. It was a yum, to say the least. Nice thing about Pier 39 is you got some nice views out there. You can actually see the Golden Gate Bridge in the background. Of course, Ilene and I, the big thing that stood out to us was the island of Alcatraz, the infamous Alcatraz Island. We had just seen the old version of the Birdman of Alcatraz, and so we got a couple photos of that. We're easy walking distance to the pier that we were going to be departing from the next day, so you could actually see one of the Princess ships. I don't believe that's the Caribbean Princess. I can't remember which one was actually docked there the day that we were there, but that was not the Caribbean Princess. Although we did see her out in the bay heading for the dock as we drove up earlier in that day. Walked around the Pier 39 there, and it's you can see it's got the wooden pier appearance to it. Our old friend Bubba Gump was there, Bubba Gump Shrimp, and got a few more photos of the skyline of San Francisco. So hey, a quick reminder: don't forget to click on the subscribe button, and that way you can subscribe to our continuing series on our trip on the Caribbean Princess through the Panama Canal. And if you're so inclined, go ahead and click on the notification button so you'll be one of the first to know when we post this next video. So after walking around a bit that night, we decided to call it a day since it's been a long day, and actually spent a pleasant night at the hotel. Slept like logs. It was really a pleasant experience. Woke up the next morning and they serve a full-on hot breakfast for their guests. So we went downstairs and had our morning coffee. We don't normally eat breakfast, but we did go down and get our coffee and got to smell the bacon and eggs and all that. Very crowded. The hotel, the RAU Plaza on Fisherman's Wharf there, is so centrally located. It is a major draw for folks that are in the San Francisco area, going on cruises, or just wanting to visit the Fisherman's Wharf area. So we certainly recommend it. It was a great place for us to stay. About 9 o'clock was when the local CVS pharmacy opened up, just about a block away. Ilene had some things she wanted to pick up, and we'd actually forgotten a few items as well, including some of our charger cords. Go figure. And so we went to CVS, and since it was still early, we didn't have to check into the embarkation until 11:30. We decided to walk around a little bit and do some more exploring of Pier 39 and then Fisherman's Wharf. We were pleasantly surprised to see that we were, first off, there was a lot of wildlife there, and one of the greatest part of the wildlife was the seals who serenaded us in the morning and frolicked. And if some of my friends would grin me for using the term frolic, but that's what they were doing. They were having fun in the water there. So great thing to see. Actually wandered on down to the Fisherman's Wharf area and got to see where a lot of the restaurants are. There's a display there of a U.S. World War II submarine and Liberty ship, which means we'll have to come back because we'll definitely want to go and tour those at some future date. Saw a fellow was cracking crabs, getting for his restaurant that was going to open up later in the day, and we walked by the Bodine. I probably mispronouncing that. Please forgive me. The sourdough factory there on Fisherman's Wharf, and unfortunately, I just cannot describe to you how wonderful the smell of that sourdough baking was. We did take a few photos of the chefs in there making the bread. It was just really a wonderful experience. We stumbled along, found Madame Trousseau's wax museum, and Ilene got a couple happy snaps, and just so happened as we were photographing that one of the local cable cars came running by, so it was time to take some video of them as well. I just love those older vintage cars. They're really cool. After going back to the room and checking our passports and our vaccination cards and all what we needed to get on board the ship, we finally became time for us to leave. We'd contacted Uber. Uber picked us up, took us the short distance to the terminal. We probably could have walked, but since we were dragging a bunch of bags, we didn't particularly want to do that. Now the key for a Princess cruise to a very quick and efficient embarkation is to make sure that you go through on your Medallion app and you complete all of the pre-boarding necessities on there. When you look at the app, as you'll see right here, you're looking to get green lane status. The green lane status means that you'll essentially go in there. They'll just check whatever the paper, for example, that your passport, your latest photo, and your vaccine status, as well as your test status, because you do have to be tested when you show up. And if you've got all that taken care of, boom. I think we probably spent maybe 5 minutes showing our information. Probably took another 2 minutes because I forgot to upload Eileen's newest photo, and she'd lost some significant weight, so they had to change the photo a bit. But then it was just time to wait. They escorted us to an area. Even though I have elite status as a Princess Cruise specialist, our medallions were showing blue status, which is the new status. So they put us in the regular holding area, which is fine, and gave me a chance to kind of wander around. And yes, there is a specific holding area for people that are of elite and platinum status. They do have a kind of a separate area, and they do have coffee and everything for you waiting over there. And after, I'd say maybe about a 25 or 30 minute wait, it was our turn to get in line. We got in line and started making the walk up the ramp. Got our first real chance to see the Caribbean Princess. By the way, this was the only time that we were absolutely required to wear masks on the entire trip, and that was just the embarkation here at the terminal in San Francisco. We didn't have to wear them any place, nowhere else that we were at was it absolutely required. Certainly recommended, and many people did wear them, but this was the only place that it was mandatory. Got to see a glimpse of the ship through the screen there, so I took a quick picture. You could see that we could see the Caribbean Princess on the side. You really can't see it through the screen there. So we got on board. The first place we went was to our room. We were able to do that on the Caribbean Princess since nobody was in the rooms before us. The ship had just come out of dry dock in Portland. So we dropped off our bags, and the very first thing we did was we watched the video about our mustard drill station, which I would encourage everyone to do. It's so much easier now. We're not lining up on the decks like we used to do years ago. Just watch the video, and then the next step is to go up to or down to your muster station, check in, get that knocked out and out of the way, and then the rest of the day you can just sit around and explore the ship, go to the sail away party, whatever you need to do. So, well, I hope you've enjoyed the first installment of our Caribbean Princess cruise through the Panama Canal series. I'm going to leave you with a couple quick shots of the Golden Gate Bridge as we sailed out, and of course Alcatraz Island. And we'll see you on the next video where we'll be talking about our first stop, Cabo San Lucas. Don't forget to subscribe and to click the notification button. Appreciate it, as it costs nothing. Now you know what you need to do next. Go on vacation.